clever new midtown destination is just a light rail ride away. A local school is growing its mission with inspiration from Frank Lloyd Wright and the United Nations. And the Phoenix Public Market is now Food Central. The Building Phoenix show is coming up next.
Hello, I'm Micheal Hammett, and welcome to the Building Phoenix show. Well, the light rail is rapidly expanding across our city, and wherever the light rail goes, development is sure to follow. Let's check out a shining example of a transit-oriented development that is also a model for adaptive reuse.
When it comes to successful development projects, timing is everything.
We bought the building in 2003 with the light rail having recently been approved, knowing that this area would become the area that it is today.
At the time, the building wasn't much to look at, but he could see the potential on the horizon.
We had nothing, but we knew if we built it in this location, in the city of Phoenix, with all of the buzz that was already starting to come to this area at that point, we knew that we wouldn't have any trouble leasing it.
He put his development plans in low gear, waiting for the light rail dream to get up to speed. And he put an interim plan in place to create some cash flow.
For a few years we leased it out. We had the telemarketer in when we got in. We had a church that came and occupied the building for a little while. Then the light rail construction started. That was a little bit of a tough period.
That's when patience and faith in his vision came into play.
We had the choice. Do we stick with the building that was here and use it to the best it can be, or do we try to make it something better?
Well, you guessed it. They decided to transform the building into a model of adaptive reuse meets transit-oriented development.
We wanted pedestrians to be able to access the building. We wanted cyclists to be able to access the building. We wanted people riding the light rail to be able to see an open, inviting space rather than a big block wall. We knew it was really important to create an open space. We knew that we wanted it to be in keeping with this area. So, we wanted a great neighborhood feel. We wanted it to be inviting, and we wanted it to fit with the neighborhood. We have steel park here. We wanted steel elements. We wanted a lot of glass.
When we first started, like he said, it had been many different things. I think a church at one point. The frontage on the street had no relief. It was completely flat. And that's kind of the state we found it in. This was a 7,000 square foot building, had been many different things, and it was a pretty scary building when we walked in.
The building was almost 100% on the lot line, which left very little room for the open-air dining and natural light they had envisioned. So a radical intervention was required.
In that initial meeting, the crazy idea, hey, I want to take your 7,000 square foot building down to 5, was not the easiest meeting to have with them, and they actually jumped on it.
The building incorporates the use of locally sourced steel, the reuse of discarded shipping pallets, and other local and recycled materials.
We came up with an idea of taking an expanded metal, which is a really inexpensive material, and you see it everywhere, and turning it 90 degrees on itself, which really creates this kind of German mesh looking, but for way cheaper a price. We always think, how can we do something, especially when it's similar to adaptive reuse. How do you reuse something in a way that's really nice, creative, saves a lot of money, and goes a long way for you?
There were issues, along the way, as we expected there would be, but it was every bit of a 2-year process. When you come in and you own the building and you have a vision for what you want to do, and it's going to be great, you have to understand that not everybody else understands your vision to begin with or necessarily agrees with it. So, there is going to be a process. It has to be balanced. The city's role in that is to make sure that everyone has a place at the table in that discussion and that the process is fair for everyone.
The fact that the building qualified as adaptive reuse and it's on the light rail line offered some relief from parking requirements. But Keith says that was still one of the biggest challenges.
I think we have about 21 spaces. And then we also have a relationship with Stuff Antiques down the street, who has graciously allowed us to use a portion of their parking lot for the 3 businesses that are here.
10 years ago, Keith and his team envisioned a light rail running past a rundown building on Central Avenue and knew that they could transform it into something people would want to experience.
Field of dreams. If you build it, they will come.